Foundation course is a lot more fun because there are all the services who are there, and this year was the largest foundation batch ever. 570 of us were there. It is lot of fun with so many activities which are planned every day and even in stages. We have our Himalayan trek also in foundation course and even the village visit. So these two are the time when actually you'll get to go out of Labasna and enjoy the beauty, the quiet places, especially in Himalayan treks. I had gone to Tungnath and Madhya Maheshwar. Both were very, very good places. Perhaps the most memorable time of my entire life. Where
Hello everyone, I welcome you all to the first episode of Untangling UPSC Inside the Minds of UPSC Toppers. In this series, we are going to have one-to-one interaction with the selected candidates who have a master strategy for different stages of this examination. I'm your host, Nitya. I work as a senior mentor at Prep IAS and also teach history, society, and ethics. Today, we are joined with Bhavana, who is currently posted as an assistant collector in Kakinada, Andhra Pradesh. She has also secured an All India rank 55 in the year 2022. So, thank you, Bhavana, for joining us.
Thank you, ma'am.
Without an ado, let us begin today's session where we will be discussing the right strategy for cracking prelims. अगर हम प्रीलिम्स एग्जामिनेशन को देखें तो इसकी टफनेस दिन पर दिन बढ़ती जा रही है. द वे ऑप्शंस आर सेट, जो इसका सिलेबस है बहुत ही ज्यादा वाइड और वास्ट है, बट यू कैन क्रैक इट विद राइट स्ट्रैटेजी एंड राइट गाइडेंस. So today we have the right person to make you frame a right strategy for the prelims examination. She has cleared prelims not just once or twice, but 6 times. तो मैम, सबसे पहले मैं आपसे एक क्वेश्चन पूछना चाहूंगी, क्या प्रीलिम्स सबसे ज्यादा टफेस्ट स्टेज है इस एग्जामिनेशन की?
See, I would like to tell that films is the toughest stage because of competition. So it is like a filtering stage and a sieve wherein it's an examination of elimination. So most of the people will be eliminated at the film stage itself, whereas mains and interview is actually for your selection. And another thing is that the questions from the area from where the questions will come, it's very vast. In CSAT, you'll be tested on your math and English skills, and in GS, you'll be tested almost on everything on this earth, including world geography, history, and polity, environment, uh, economy, current affairs. Every single thing will be tested on your GS. Another major aspect is that one wrong answer can cost you an entire year. So you'll have to know which questions you'll have to answer and which questions you will not be answering. And another point is time management and accurate recollection of facts during those 2 hours and using whatever facts or whatever you've learned to pick the right option, especially when options are becoming more and more confusing with each passing year. So because of all these factors, prelims is in fact the most toughest stage in this examination.
Okay. So ma'am, can we say that it is not an exam of selection, but an examination of elimination?
Yes, surely, because prelims is for that. So they are going to select only the correct few right candidates whom they feel who have qualified prelims to go on to the next stage for mains. Because if you see the pass percentage in prelims, it's the lowest, even among mains and interviews. Whereas in interview, 1/3 of the people who appear for the interview are selected and are into services. Here it is very, very minuscule. Perhaps I don't know the exact numbers. Less than 1% of them go to the mains.
Okay. Then, ma'am, what was your secret strategy behind cracking prelims multiple times?
One is hard work. Second one is practice and revision. Hard work, I mean to say that proper reading of the static portion and of current affairs. Again, with practice, I would like to include even CSAT because CSAT comes with practice only. CSAT, you can't say that I will sit and read through the math formula and then without practicing, I'll go to CSAT, especially when the examination is becoming more tougher, the CSAT paper. And practice again in terms of doing the mock papers and practicing the previous year's question papers. So proper analyze, not only practice, but after doing the papers, you will have to analyze them, and then you will have to revise those things where you've gone wrong and think why have you gone wrong or how you can better be correct. And another important thing is to know which question you should not be answering. So when you're doing the paper in examination simulation or in an examination mode, you should know that you should not be answering certain questions and it's better to leave them because this examination carries negative marking. And even knowing about these questions also comes only through practice. So the only strategy that I had was practice with mocks and previous year's question papers, analyze the mistakes that I have done in them, and then again revise the static and the current affairs portion along with the mistakes or the answers which I had got wrong while doing these mocks and pre-writes. So these were the strategy that I had.
So the secret behind your success in this exam, that too multiple times, is a lot of hard work, giving each subject daily reading for maybe 12 to 14 hours or on some days 8 to 10 hours. ठीक है, इससे कम I don't think आपने कभी पढ़ा होगा.
See, it would be wrong to say that 12 to 14 hours because I have not done that much of study. Maybe eight hours when I was studying full time, and after I got selected in railway, I could not even manage 8 hours. But by that time, I had sufficient practice of doing the mock papers, doing the PYQ, so it had become a routine affair. And I used to concentrate on the mistakes that I had done. So what is needed is proper analysis of your paper and see to that you don't do those mistakes and remember what you've done. One thing is that if I have committed a mistake once, I used to never forget it. So that used to be permanent. And my mother used to always say that it's good you do mistakes now in mock papers rather than going and doing the same thing in the examination, the actual exam. So whatever I used to do, I used to mark it and I used to revise it. So this is the best aspect which helps. And in fact, I personally feel that it's not the time, like not the quantity, but the quality. Even if you're doing it like for 3 hours or 4 hours, even if you're having only 4 hours of time, but if you're using that time very judiciously with proper planning, then you're sure to get through this exam.
Okay. So a proper plan, hard work of 6 to 8 hours, revision and proper analysis of mock test can help you ace
Yes.
the prelims examination. अब
Yes.
मैम मैं आपसे I would like to know some memorable or impactful moment that you had during this prelims preparation journey.
See, I would definitely not say it was memorable. In fact, it was my major grave mistake that I had committed. It's an impactful moment because I made sure that I did not repeat it again. Once during an actual examination for the second paper, that is the CSAT paper, I had marked two bubbles wrong in the actual examination. Whereas in the paper, like in the question paper, I had solved the answer correctly. But when I went to mark it, maybe because of anxiety or maybe because of carelessness or time management also, because in CSAT it is very difficult, wherein you'll have to read the long paragraphs and answer and also solve the sums and answer. I maybe in that hurry to finish the paper early, I had marked two bubbles wrong. And at least I was mindful to realize that I have done this mistake and I corrected it immediately. But at that moment, my mind was like, okay, I have marked these two wrong, these two answers wrong. So now I don't know whether I'll be getting through this exam or whether I'll not be able to clear or what will happen. So I had to answer the remaining questions under the same anxiety and stress because of just committing this kind of a careless mistake. To overcome this, from next time onwards, I started carrying a long scale and I used to keep it and I used to move that scale and then I used to cross check the question number and the OMR sheet twice. And in fact, I always prefer, even when I was practicing the mock test also, I used to do it on a Xerox sheet of OMR so that I'll have the practice of marking the bubbles and that mistake will not happen in the actual examination. So I would prefer the aspirants also who are serious to take Xerox or printout of OMR and practice in that when they are doing that mock test or previous year's test.
Okay. So what I can infer from this is that we generally don't practice on the OMR sheet just to save our time without realizing that it can cost us an year if we do this
Yes.
mistake in the final examination. And as far as I know you also practiced in the OMR sheet before this examination, फिर भी वहां पर ये bubbles wrong fill हो गए. So the kind of pressure and anxiety that you feel on this D-Day, you need to be prepared with all these strategies. तो आप पहले से OMR शीट पर प्रैक्टिस करके जाइए so that you don't make these mistakes on the D-Day. Okay, so that was really helpful for our aspirants. Now, ma'am, the next question that I would like to ask is, what role did mock test and previous year questions make in your preparation? क्योंकि आजकल हम हर जगह सुनते हैं that the PYQs are the golden standards. तो क्या इनका रोल है? एंड ऑल्सो थ्रो सम लाइट कि कितने साल के PYQs एनालाइज करें और द नंबर ऑफ मॉक टेस्ट, कितने मॉक टेस्ट हमको एग्जैक्टली लगाने चाहिए फॉर एसिंग द प्रीलिम्स.
See, there is no standard rule that you'll have to do around 15 or 20 and then you're sure to do. So that depends on every individual person's perspective. One thing is that they are very important and they are indispensable, especially with respect to previous year's papers, because year's papers are the only window through which you can actually see and come to a conclusion what you can expect from UPSC. And you should not also have that mindset that the same pattern will repeat, because they can be flexible in terms of changing the kind of options that they are giving. Earlier, if you see that the options to be different, 1 and 2 only, 2 and 3 only, 3 and 4 only. Whereas now it is like one pair is correct, two pairs are correct, three pairs are correct. So don't be rigid so that when you see the paper on that day that you'll get a mind block actually, that I had prepared for something else and here there's something else which is coming. But have trust in whatever you've studied or whatever you, the basic syllabus or the concepts that you've revised. In that aspect, you can take the help of PYQs and mock tests to know the facts, to know the subject impact. They are helpful, but don't be very rigid with the pattern of questions that are coming or with the pattern of options that are coming. And I used to do at least around 30 full test papers. And after doing the test papers, three things I used to notice: the timing, how much time I used to take to solve a GS paper, how much time I used to take to solve CSAT paper. With CSAT, I had done around 8 to 9 CSAT papers. Then in fact, I used to take more time to solve CSAT papers because of English paragraphs that I had to read and answer. Whereas GS, I used to finish it in around 1 hour when I used to practice it at home. So this helped me to give me the confidence that, okay, I who asked is sufficient enough for me to answer the entire GS paper on the day of examination. The second aspect is the elimination technique. It helps me master the elimination techniques when I was doing the mock test and PYQ. So then I used to kind of get an idea, and it helped me to recollect the facts also. Whatever I have read and how I was going to use them in the real examination mode. That is how I used to do my mock paper also. So it helps me to master my elimination technique and my guessing technique. Third one is, after doing the entire test, I would analyze how many questions I did not attempt at all, how many I attempted and I got it wrong, and how many are correct. And even if I've got the answer correct also, I used to go through the entire answers, because I might have got it correct by sheer guesswork. I might have actually not known the exact answer, but through guesswork or elimination technique, I might have got it correct. So to know the exact answer, I used to read the entire answer and then analyze it. For example, if there are around 13 to 15 questions in polity, and if I'm getting 12 mistakes in polity, it means that my polity preparation is bad. So I have to go back to the statics, revise the entire portion, whatever I have highlighted in my book, do 1 or 2 subjective tests, and then again come back to the full test. Again to the full test and analyze which subject I'm doing more mistakes, or which subject I'm not answering the questions at all. Another possibility is that maybe I'm in environment. I'm just, if there are 10 questions in environment, I'm just answering 3 and I'm getting all 3 correct. So that is not the thing, right? I should be at least able to answer around 6 to 7 questions in environment. So I used to use the mock test and previous year's papers for analyzing my own self, how I would answer and how I can make myself better. And major factor is to avoid the questions which I should not be answering, but which are actually very tempting in the examination. And if you answer those questions, you are likely to make a mistake, and that negative mark might cost you your entire examination. So those kind of questions, at least 10 to 15 questions, like which I would not answer at all. And to learn from those questions and to make the best out of it. Like, if how how could I have possibly answered even those questions to increase my marks? So that is how I used to think. And the mock test and PYQ in fact helped me to analyze this entire um, range of things that I just told.
Okay. So, ma'am, like what I can conclude from your insights is that as far as mock tests are concerned, there is no specific number. It is just that when you stop making those mistakes, when you don't find that you are not making any mistake, and when you find that whatever you have revised, you are able to apply it in your mock test, you can stop giving mock test. Then
Yes.
then how the mock test helped you is they helped you in identifying your weak areas, in identifying maybe an approximate number that how many questions you can attempt in the prelims examination, and also formulating an approach for solving the questions, like how you will apply your knowledge, how you will eliminate the options, what kind of options can be wrong or right. And it also helped you in identifying your strong areas. Suppose like if you are scoring well in polity, then maybe you don't need to give much time to polity. And if you are scoring low in science and tech or environment, तो आपको वो पढ़ने की ज्यादा जरूरत. Then as far as PYQs are concerned, तो PYQs के लिए it is the syllabus is so vast. और आपको कैसे पता चलेगा कि यूपीएससी किस चीज पे फोकस कर रहा है और किस चीज पे वो फोकस नहीं कर रहा है. सो टू नो द इम्पोर्टेंट एरियाज एंड बेसिकली हाउ इट इज फ्रेमिंग द क्वेश्चंस. और कई बार ऐसा भी हो रहा है कि पीवाईक्यू से रिलेटेड कुछ पेपर पे आ जा रहा है. सो दिस इज हाउ mock test and PYQs help you in making you ready for the prelims examination. So thank you, ma'am, for this wonderful information. Now I would like to move ahead and I would like to know the importance of revision in this examination. क्योंकि मोस्टली एस्पिरेंट्स हमें हमेशा ऐसा लगता है, लाइक व्हेन आई वाज आल्सो प्रिपेयरिंग, मुझे ऐसा ही लगता था बस नया पढ़ती जाऊं, तो रिवाइज करने का इतना मन नहीं होता है, रिवीजन कई बार बोरिंग भी हो जाता है. तो इसकी क्या इंपॉर्टेंस है और कैसे हम खुद को पुश कर सकते हैं रिवीजन के लिए?
See, pushing yourself for revision, that mock test will do. Because if you have taken a mock test and you're realizing that you've actually read history and you're not doing well enough in history, then the mock test will push you to do revision. And revision is very important because the aspect is in recollection and proper application. And you will not be able to recollect things accurately if you have read it only once. And again, that depends from individual to individual. I might perhaps remember geography very well, whereas I might not be able to remember modern history very well. So in that time, I'll have to analyze my own thing and I'll have to put in appropriate effort there. One thing I would like to tell is that make a list of most volatile aspects and that have a frequency of appearing in the examination. Like you can take rivers and tributaries, the left bank tributaries of Brahmaputra, right bank tributaries of Brahmaputra, or of Meghna, of Narmada. These kind of things you can make a ready list which is handy and available. And also important places in news, in world news, the places in Israel, the places in Iraq, which are always continuously in news. Where are they? Is it situated on any important river bank? So these kind of volatile aspects which you are likely to forget or which you are likely to get confused. So repeatedly read them once in 3 days, and you can reduce their frequency as you come to know that, okay, fine, I'm remembering these facts, so I might not, maybe I'll shift my focus to something else. The same thing when you're solving the mock test, there are certain one-liner questions which will have one specific fact-based answer. So those kind of things you can write it down in a separate sheet. Today, for example, if I have solved one test and there are kind of 5 or 6 one-liner or fact-based or kind of a river tributary based or a map-based question, which is just one-liner answer, I'll just note it down in a separate notebook and I'll to read those points again and again, or some schemes, government schemes, or anything of that sort, which I might have difficulty in remembering. So those things I used to maintain a separate book and I used to use that for revision. So I used to repeatedly read them once in 3 days or 2 days, or based on how well I am able to recollect those facts. And this, in fact, if it has not even come directly, but it helps me in elimination. Like Pradhan Mantri Matra Vandana Yojana. So that is given only for first 2 children or for first 1 child. So these are very factual kind of stuff which I might not be able to remember. But if I have noted it somewhere, and if I recollect it, it might help me in eliminating some answer or some or coming to a correct answer in the examination. So revision actually gives you that confidence and it helps you to arrive at the right answer. It might not be very direct also. Sometimes if you're lucky enough, then there might be a direct question from whatever you have revised. So that is how it is. And second one is with respect to CSAT also, you will have to know the math formulae, probability or time and work or any other kind of percentages, averages, all these kind of things. It's better to know, remember the math formula so that you can do it quickly. Simple interest, compound interest. So if you are able to remember the formula, then you can do it directly. Instead of spending time on that, you can as well use the time on your English composition, on your English passages. Because English passages you can't help with. That you'll have to do it on the spot. Whereas these formula you can remember and revise and practice few things, and that will help you to save your time. So revision helps you to save your time in the examination and also to answer correctly.
So this was very well explained, covering holistically the GS as well as the CSAT part. So सबसे पहले रिवीजन इसलिए इतना ज्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट है बिकॉज देयर आर अ लॉट ऑफ सब्जेक्ट. सिर्फ एक दो सब्जेक्ट पढ़ के आपको नहीं जाना है, आपको पॉलिटी भी पढ़ना है, हिस्ट्री में आपको एंशियंट, मिडिवल, मॉडर्न, देन यू हैव टू रीड आर्ट एंड कल्चर ऑल्सो. तो इतना ज्यादा सिलेबस है कि अगर आप उसे बार बार रिवाइज नहीं करेंगे तो आप चीजों को भूल जाएंगे. देन इसके लिए राइट स्ट्रैटेजी क्या हो सकती है कि कॉन्सेप्चुअल चीजें आप नहीं भूलेंगे. लाइक जीडीपी क्या होता है, सो दिस यू आर नेवर गोइंग टू फॉरगेट बिकॉज दिस इज कॉन्सेप्चुअल. लेकिन जो फैक्चुअल चीजें हैं, जैसा कि मैम ने भी बताया, स्कीम्स हो गई, रिवर्स एंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूटरीज हो गए. फिर एक होता है जैसे कि एक हिस्टोरिकल बैकग्राउंड वाला चैप्टर है जिसमें अलग अलग एक्ट्स आते हैं, लाइक गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया एक्ट 1919, गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया एक्ट 1935. तो इसके आप एक मिसलेनियस नोट्स बना सकते हैं, लाइक शी मेंटेन्ड अ सेपरेट बुक. ऐसे ही आप भी एक सेपरेट डायरी या कुछ मिसलेनियस नोट्स के नाम से एक फोल्डर बना सकते हैं जहां पर आप उन चीजों को नोट डाउन करते रहिए विच यू मे फॉरगेट और जिसकी एग्जाम में रेलिवेंस भी हो. सो दिस विल हेल्प यू इन मेमोराइजिंग दिस एंड इन रिमेम्बरिंग दिस ड्यूरिंग द एग्जाम एज वेल. और हो सकता है अगर इससे डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन नहीं आ रहे हैं तो इनडायरेक्टली ये कहीं ना कहीं आपको हेल्प करेगा. So that is the importance of revision and the revision strategy. Now I would like to end this session with the last question, which is about ma'am's experiences in Labasna. तो currently since you are undergoing training in Labasna, तो वहाँ के कुछ experiences आप share कीजिए हमारे viewers के साथ.
I very recently finished my phase one. In fact, in Labasana, there are two aspects of it. One is foundation course, and after that, it is continued with phase one training for IAS professionals. Foundation course is a lot more fun because there are all the services who are there, and this year was the largest foundation batch ever. 570 of us were there. It is a lot of fun with so many activities which are planned every day and even in stages. We have our Himalayan trek also in foundation course and even the village visit. So these two are the time when actually you'll get to go out of Labasna and enjoy the beauty, the quiet places, especially in Himalayan treks. I had gone to Tungnath and Madhya Maheshwar. Both were very, very good places. Perhaps the most memorable time of my entire life, wherein I got very special and good friends now who will remain with me throughout my life. Ghazalpreet Kaur ma'am, she's also in police services. So I feel that it is a time wherein you can enjoy, you can discover yourself, you can make good friends. And another aspect is the academic aspect, wherein you'll have to concentrate on your studies. Most of it will be group activities. So they actually help you to do teamwork with other people, how you get along with your peers, how you get along with your batchmates. And if you've given a real kind of a problem, how will you find solutions, especially when you're working together with other people? So how even every PPT that we have is a group activity. Even the leadership module or any other kind of case studies that they present, they are also group activities. There are very few individual activities. So that again brings in a lot of fun because you'll be meeting lots of new people from different kind of backgrounds, from different places, different languages. So you get actually a opening into the diversity and the variety that India has to offer. And another thing is the India Day, wherein it's a cultural program. So we dress up according to whatever zones we want. India is divided into 5 zones: South, North, East, West, and Central. And we present the famous dances, even food, cuisine, and different kind of artifacts or anything from those regions. So that was a very enjoyable day. And especially in the phase one, we are taken on a winter study tour to different public sector units, large public trust, large engineering infrastructures, then city urban management, and we are taught, given a first-hand training on all this. In this, most memorable aspect is the military training or the military attachment, naval attachment, and air force attachment. Because as a common civilian, certain areas of high security are actually out of reach for you. But whereas when you come into the services and you are actually taken to show like what are the things that happen in the LOC, in the line of control at the international border. So these things, it is very rare for anyone to experience or to enjoy, and this is what the service in fact offers you. So I just want to tell everyone to put in their best, prepare properly, concentrate and focus, and then achieve their dream.
ओके थैंक यू मैम आई वुड ऑल्सो लाइक टू नो जैसा कि हम देखते रहते हैं कि काफी हायर डिग्निटरीज लबासना में विजिट करते हैं
with regard to the dignitaries, in foundation course we had the special opportunity of listening from the Honorable Prime Minister himself in Kevadia on the Unity Day, 31st of October, wherein the Prime Minister addressed the entire batch of civil servants in Kevadia in front of Statue of Unity. That was one of the most memorable moments of my life. So after that, we have met many dignitaries like the Honorable Finance Minister, then the Honorable Vice President, the Honorable Governor of Uttarakhand, including other senior service officials like Principal Secretary, Sir, Chief Secretary of Uttarakhand, and DOPT Secretary, Home Secretary. So we get to listen to lectures from the civil servants of this stature. So it's a very kind of an eye-opening experience, especially when they share their field experiences or whatever the service offers, and what we should actually expect or how we should behave and how we are supposed to work in future. So this is what we are basically taught. Even the academic sessions, some of them are taken by chief secretaries themselves of different states when they come to explain any particular scheme or any best practice. So those kind of academic sessions are also taken by very high service dignitaries. It's in fact a very nice experience to listen to such luminaries.
तो लबासना एक आपको अपॉर्चुनिटी ऑफर करता है फॉर होलिस्टिक डेवलपमेंट, जहां पर एक तरफ आपको काफी एक्टिविटीज देखने को मिलेंगी जैसे कि हॉर्स राइडिंग, स्विमिंग, देन ट्रैकिंग. ऑन द अदर हैंड एकेडमिकली भी आपको एक्सेल करना होगा, जैसा कि आपने बताया था मेरे को कि वहां पर 60% you have to score if you need to pass this foundation course and 60% is the limit. तो इसके लिए जो यूपीएससी एग्जामिनेशन आपसे डिमांड करता है वो आपको आगे भी बहुत नीड पड़ेगी टू गेट थ्रू दिस फाउंडेशन कोर्स एंड ऑल्सो टू होल्ड कमांड ओवर अ डिस्ट्रिक्ट as an IAS officer, IPS, or whatever you dream for. So thank you, ma'am, for sharing your time, insights, and experiences with us. Till then, for our viewers, may your UPSC journey be filled with success, perseverance, and determination. Keep learning, keep striving, and keep believing in your dreams. Okay, so
thank you so much for giving me this opportunity also, and I like to wish them all the best for upcoming films and their lives in future.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.